Alex Jones does a lot of ranting about globalists. He thinks globalism is a bad thing. I think he is symbolically throwing the baby out with the bathwater when he takes that position. It's true that coercive globalism is a very bad thing, just as coercive democracy or coercive socialism are very destructive. The communist Soviet Union had the idea that they could take advantage of economies of scale to create a state monopoly to sell bread for a very low price. That might have been true for voluntary economies of scale, but the minute they introduced coercive transactions into the equation, they had to deal with coercive overhead. They could sell bread for a very cheap price when you didn't count the coercive overhead of supporting the vast police and military needed to enforce the market acceptance of the state bread monopoly. The real price of bread went up dramatically when the communists took over. Economic Mother Nature counts every action in an economy, not just the ones some government official thinks are important. The official price of bread was very cheap, but the real price had to include the bureaucratic, coercive overhead of severely misaligned incentives for the working class and the vast network of people with guns needed to make sure that the ordinary people bought their bread from the state and from no one else. The sticker price of bread did not go up, but the cost of enforcement of the government monopoly system was much greater than any gains from economies of scale. The United States government makes the same kind of mistakes by confining its economic thinking to transactions that it can tax. Listen to an economist on the state-supported business media, and he will talk about what companies are doing. He says nothing or very little about the vast number of transactions that the government knows nothing about, because nobody wants the schoolyard bully to know how much lunch money they have. So, I think Alex Jones would be well served to distinguish between coercive globalism and free market globalism. Free market globalism is a very good thing. There is a culture that is being spread around the world along with cell phones, automobiles, and all the other wonders of modern technology. That culture is also putting the tools to win a global struggle against all forms of state coercion into the hands of the ordinary citizens of the world and of people like Alex Jones. The elites meet in secret for their Bilderberg meeting. They spend a lot of money just to have some FaceTime with each other. They put up with an increasing amount of scrutiny by the alternative media. If they were talking honest business deals at Bilderberg, deals that could withstand open scrutiny, it wouldn't be necessary for them to go to all that trouble. They could just use Skype or email. They must meet face to face to preserve secrecy, because secrecy is necessary for conspiracies. At least that's my opinion, but I don't think it is a minority opinion. I believe that any time there is a secret meeting, it is for the purpose of forming and facilitating conspiracies. It can be parents keeping secrets from their children, governments keeping secrets from their citizens, school teachers keeping secrets from their students, or a lot of other conspiracy scenarios. In any case, the secrecy is counterproductive. The statist burden is a heavy burden. The statist overseer believes he has the responsibility to tell a group of people what to do, and he also believes he has the responsibility to use violent means to make sure they do what he says. That incurs a heavy information processing cost, and there is a good argument to be made that it is that information processing cost that brings down authoritarian governments. They end up not being able to manage their no-fly lists. It is in the job description of a statist overseer not to trust anyone, and for good reason. People have a lot of incentives to lie to authoritarians, and other authoritarians have even more incentives to lie than ordinary citizens. A statist overseer at lower levels in the hierarchy actually has access to a very limited amount of violence to enforce his will. There are just not that many cops, nor is there much extra space in the jails for minor offenders. These are some of the reasons why the word snitch has the connotation it does. The statist burden is a heavy burden. Non-coercive globalists don't need to meet in secret, because it is in their best interest to expose the truth. They can use more open methods of communication to coordinate their morally correct actions. And it is possible to bring down these coercive secret organizations using only morally correct methods. It has happened over and over again in history, and it will continue to happen. Sometimes there is a violent aspect to a social change. A good example is the American Civil War and the end of slavery in the United States. Open chattel slavery ended in other countries around the world without the need for violence. All over the world, freedom works. Always and everywhere, slavery sucks.